So, hi everybody, welcome to this webinar between Ponto and Odoo about embedded banking. So, today's speakers will be myself, so Benjamin Murders. I'm an accounting business consultant at Odoo, and George Stace is also joining me. He's head of open banking at Isabel Group. So, for those of you who don't know Odoo, let's do a quick presentation of what is Odoo and what is the origin of Odoo. So first, we've noticed that on average, a company uses 14 software to run a business, and the purpose of Odoo was to gather those 14 software in only one application. So when in only one to centralize everything to control your business from one point. So let's say for a bit of a comparison, you can say that Odoo is like your smartphone. Anytime you need a new application because you have a new need, you can download a new application, and Odoo works exactly like that. And the good thing about Odoo is that everything is integrated. So when you're using, for example, your purchase application or your inventory application, all of that can be connected directly to the accounting application, or you could connect your CRM to the sales application, for example. So that leads to less error and less manipulation of the data. So for a bit of comparison, you can see that, for example, you have different application in Odoo, which could be compared to different software outside Odoo. For example, you have the accounting with QuickBooks, you have the CRM in Odoo, which is equivalent to Salesforce. You have also the purchase, inventory, manufacturing, and sales application that could be compared to SAP. So you have really everything you need in Odoo to deal with your business. But Odoo is also something to do more in less time, and today's subject is the embedded banking, so which will help us to do more in less time. So maybe I'll let George explain us what is the embedded banking.
Thank you, Benjamin. Embedded banking is actually the ability to inject your banking data directly into the financial software you are using, and you can also initiate banking transaction directly from this software to your bank and do a follow-up on how that goes. What is the advantage for you? It's in the 14 application that Benjamin said an average business has. I'm betting that one or several are the bank application that your bank has provided to you. You don't have to use those bank applications anymore. You can directly do your financial transaction, have access to your financial data directly into your financial software. The benefit of that is everything happening near real time. That means you don't have to upload files, you don't have to do manual activities. Directly the data and the transaction are in your software. There is no error because it's software code speaking to software code. There is no human involved and therefore no human errors. And it's extremely secure because everything is encrypted end-to-end between your financial software and your bank. How businesses are using embedded banking to create value? There is the what we call the accounting reconciliation, and Benjamin is going to demonstrate that in a moment. It allows to directly match your bank transaction with the entries in your accounting journals. We also see clients who are using embedded banking to pay their purchase invoice in due time or according to a payment strategy, depending, for example, about their cash flow capabilities, without requiring any manual intervention. And we also see clients who are using the embedded banking capabilities to allow their own clients to pay their invoice in faster and easier way, which has also big benefits. How embedded banking is working is actually quite simple. What you have to understand is there are three parties involved. There are on one side the banks where you have opened your bank account, and you may work with more than one bank. And you have, on the other side, you have Odoo, which is the financial software you have decided to use to automate your business. In between sits Ponto, which is the company I represent, and we are actually making the bridge between Odoo on one side and between the banks that you are using to hold your bank account. You have to do 3 things for this to work. The first thing is you have to create an account with Ponto. We have to know who you are. We have to identify you to be sure that you are who you are, you say you are. The second step is you have to provide us access to your bank account by providing a consent. And this notion of consent will be very important in the whole demonstration we're going to do today. The third step is when you have given access to your bank data at Ponto, you can then set up an integration between Odoo and Ponto so that the bank data can be injected directly into Odoo. I'm now going to show you how to create a Ponto account, which is the first step. You have different ways to create a Ponto account. I'm going to show it to you from our website, but Benjamin could do it directly from Odoo as well, or you could do it directly from Odoo as well. Here, I'm going to go to our website, which is myponto.com. I then click on the login button on top of the screen. And then as I'm not a user yet, I need to click on the link to create a new account. I have to identify myself, which is something I do by entering my first name and then my last name. I provide an email address to which I have access, which is in my case the email address of my company. And I have to input a secure password that means 8 characters with letters and non-letters. And I have to say, yes, I am a human, I'm not a robot creating the account, so that there is no security problem. Okay, small, let's say, challenge. I've repeated a lot this demo previously. So I'm going to find another way to create the account for you guys. Maybe in the meantime, that's a live demo, solving the problem. I will give the hand to Benjamin so that he can do the part of the demo with Odoo.
Sure, thanks, George. Here, what we'll do is, for example, we'll jump into Odoo. And just a quick thing, guys. If you have any question, feel free to ask them in the chatter and we'll answer this question at the end of the presentation. So let's jump into Odoo and see in practice how Odoo works with bank synchronization, how it works in Odoo. So when I arrive on Odoo, I can see different applications. So I can see here, for example, that I have a sales application, a CRM application, but for today's presentation, we'll just focus on the accounting application where the bank synchronization is done. So when I click here on my accounting application, I can see that I have different journals. So I have different rectangles. Here I can see that one rectangle is equal to one journal in my accounting. So I have the customer invoices, for example, the vendor bills, the miscellaneous operation, and also my banks. I can also see that on those journals I have some link to some actions that need to be taken. For example, here on my customer invoices, I can see that I have 6 unpaid invoices, and from those 6 unpaid invoices, I have 3 late invoices that have past the date of payment. So how to, for example, for this presentation, we'll have 3 cases. So the first case will be how to synchronize a bank. The second case will be how to renew a consentment, to renew the synchronization into Odoo, because as you may or may not know, synchronization in Odoo is valid 6 months. So you would have to repeat the synchronization operation at least twice a year. And the third operation will be how to fetch missing transaction when you already have a bank transaction, bank synchronization live, but you are missing some transaction. How do you do that? So first, let's go here on my first bank, and I see that I can connect my bank. So to do so, I just click here on connect my bank, and I arrive here on a list of different bank account I can connect my journal to. So just a quick note is using the PSD technology, so you can connect your by a provider, going through a provider, for example, Ponto, but we have all of the other providers, such as Enabled Banking or Saltage, but as today we are presenting this with Ponto, we'll see that with Ponto. So here, first thing I need to do is just check for my bank, so I'll just check my bank, and when I type in, I can see here my bank, and I can click on it, and then I see the provider through which I will connect my bank to, and when I agree with this, I can just connect my bank account, my bank to. So here, when I arrive here, I'm redirected on Ponto. So as George said, if you already have an account, you could log in here, but if you don't have one, there's another way to create an account. You can directly create it from Odoo when you're trying to connect your bank account. So here, let's connect as we already have an account. So I just need to type in my unique code that I just received. Oh, it's a new one. And then click on verify. From there, I'm redirected to my bank accounts, and there I just need to follow the steps to select the bank I want to connect Odoo to. So here I just connect, I just type in my code, and I connect. So there I arrive on the list of all my bank accounts to which I can connect Odoo to, and I'll just select all of those bank accounts. So I have this one I will be needing as well, this one, and the last one. When I've selected my bank account, I can just confirm that and accept the list of bank I've just chosen. When I've done this, I'm redirected on Ponto, and I can see all 3 bank accounts that are there. They are all active, so that's good. I don't need to activate them myself, and I can just authorize here my connection. So from there, I'm redirected on Odoo, and I can see that as I've chosen 3 bank accounts, I just need to choose which bank account I want to link to my journal here. So I will just choose the correct bank account and connect it. And that's it. For the moment now, Odoo, what is Odoo doing is fetching all the transactions, and that could take a bit of time. Why? Because he's fetching all the transactions since the beginning of the bank, so at least, well, what the bank authorized to fetch, and so it could take a while. So for the moment, I'll just leave that on the side, and I'll jump to my other journal. So here, for example, on this journal, I can see that my bank will be connected until June 28, so I would have to renew my consent to the synchronization. How to do so? There's multiple ways, so I could directly do it from Odoo here and click on Extend Connection, or there's another way. Here, if I go to the configuration, I can see that here in the bank account information, there's an email here, and that email will be used to send some emails, well, to send an email to that address email, so that from that email, the owner of the bank account can renew the consent, because sometimes, you know, for those of you who are accountant in the audience, you might know that you're not always in charge of the bank account, so you cannot always renew the consent for your client. So you could here put the email address of your client so that he receives an email, and from that email he could renew the consent. So for example, I could send it manually, but Odoo will automatically send an email 1 month before the term of the consent. Then if it hasn't been renewed, 2 weeks, and then 1 day before. But you could also do it manually here by sending an email, and as you can see, there's an email here that is sent to the client where he can renew the consent without having to jump into Odoo, and he can do it directly from his email. So now that I've renewed my consent, let's go to the accounting dashboard again, and let's jump into my second bank here, where I need to fetch some transaction, because I can see that on my bank journal the balance here is not correct, well, when I compare it to my bank statement. So let's just dive into my bank and see what's going on. So how is the bank journal presented? I can see that on the left here I have all my different transactions that impact my bank account, and here on the top right corner I would have my line for the bank movement and the counterpart, which means the other, the account that needs to be matched with, which will be matching my bank movement. And here on the bottom left, I have all the open transactions that are in my accounting, with which I could reconcile my transactions that are here. Okay, so there I can see that I can see my balance, which is 35, and I know that it's not the correct one. So let's see if I don't have some missing information. For that, I can click here on the little gear thing and click on Find Missing Transactions. From there, I could just select from when I want until when I want to fetch the missing transaction. I know that I have to go until the 1st January 2024, and from there I could just fetch. When I've done this, I'm redirected here to see that I had 2 missing transactions that were not imported, so I could just select them and then import them in one click. It's really easy. And now, indeed, I have the correct balance, the same as the one I have on my bank statement. So, just a quick note about how Odoo knows which transaction needs to be fetched. Actually, is that because when a transaction comes into Odoo, there's a unique ID that is given to that transaction. And so if that unique ID is not present anymore in Odoo, he will know that there's some missing transaction. He needs to import again to complete the list of transactions. Okay, so now let's go back to the accounting dashboard, and now I can see that on my Gringot 6127, I have 7 transactions fetched, and I can see here on my customer journal that I don't have any open unpaid invoices. So how is that so? Let's jump into that bank to see what has been done. So in Odoo, we have the possibility to set up some rules in order to automatically reconcile some transactions. So as you can see here, I have my 9 transactions, and 6 of them are already reconciled and validate. So here you see those I can validate them, but if I click on that one, I can see that it's already validated. So Odoo has done the job automatically for me based on the rules I have set up in Odoo. I can also see that here on my transaction, I have a cash discount that has been granted. Well, I would like to check if that information is correct, if Odoo made the right choice to grant that financial discount. I could always go here and click to see the invoice. When I arrive here, I could zoom in, and I can see here there's a mention on my invoice stating that if it was paid before the 15th June 2024, the client only had to pay this amount. So indeed, if I go back to my bank reconciliation, the movement was on the 6th of June, so indeed it was before the 15th, so the cash discount was meant to be granted. So it's exactly the same thing for the other transaction, and for the one that are not validated, I could have set that to be validated automatically, but here I just want to have a view on what's done by Odoo, so I don't push them automatically. I like to review my transaction for this part. So here I can see that Odoo has chosen that account, which is the bank fees account, which is correct. So Odoo has worked correctly through the rules, so I can just validate that transaction as well. I can see here that I have some electricity recharge invoice, some electricity recharge charge, which is set on the correct account as well. So Odoo has worked well, so I can validate that as well. And here I can see that I have a loan reimbursement, which has been divided by Odoo for the principal amount and the interest amount, that I can find in the label. Well, I agree with that, so I can validate. So here we really see how embedded banking can make us gain time, because, well, the thing is, all my transactions arrive without having me to type in everything. So, for example, the label, the date, the amount, all of that was taken from the bank directly. And then we have the rules in Odoo that help us to reconcile those transactions pretty easily. But now, what should be done? I guess, I don't know if George, you ready? Yeah, okay. So I'll let George show you how to create an account into on Ponto.
Yes, thank you, Benjamin. And what you experience, guys, or what I experience, is the very strict security measure we have in Ponto. I've done so many demos that the system says that's not normal. The guy is creating all those accounts with the same email address. So there should be something fishy, and we are going to block that guy. So I'm going to use another environment where normally I've done a lot less demo and normally it should work. Let's see about that. Okay, I'm really not, let's say, helped by the gods today. Let's put it like that. I'm pretty sure it was the correct URL. I'm going to give another attempt, and if that doesn't work, we'll move to then. If you can connect yourself to your account, Ponto account, which is already set up, yes. I'm going to.
Let's refresh this up. So, for example, when you arrive on Odoo and you already have an account, you could, through the login page of Ponto, you could here set your email address and then your password, and then you would be redirected directly to your account. You just need to set the unique account because security is the key, and here you verify. When you arrive here, you can see, a dashboard, but I'll let George present the dashboard for me.
Thank you, so that I have something to present today. What you see is the Ponto dashboard, and you see the account that Benjamin and his colleague Lionel have set up for this demo. And you see that in the dashboard, you have a section called Accounts. And this section is important because it will list all the bank accounts that you have connected between your banks and Ponto. Here we have the 3 accounts that has been connected by Benjamin a bit earlier, but you can imagine there are some organizations, they have hundreds of bank accounts at different banks, and they will see all of them here in this section. What can you do from this section? You can first do something for me that is very important, is sometimes you want to revoke the access to your bank accounts because you don't use them anymore, or you don't need to share the bank data between that bank account and a specific software that you are using. Ponto gives you the possibility to very easily revoke those connections, and this is very important because you don't want to let any connection to your bank account open and you don't know about it. The second thing you can do is you can from there also renew your consent. You see that this account is indeed going to expire soon in terms of consent. You could also renew the consent directly from Ponto instead of doing it from Odoo. That's your choice. The 2 applications are completely synchronized with each other, so you can choose whatever easier method is for you. Another important thing that you have in Ponto dashboard, you can see also with what application, with what software you have integrated those bank accounts with. In this case, we have the Odoo Sandbox, which is the demo environment that Benjamin has been using, but you could have multiple instances of Odoo, for example, if you have split the companies into multiple databases at Odoo. You could also have other software. For example, I'm using a software called Zapier that allows to create some automation without being a developer. And in my case, I've set up an alert. If there are certain expenses in my account that is too high, I suspect that my wife is spending the budget a bit too quickly. So I give her a call and I say, hey, what's happening there? So you could also use Ponto to connect more than one application. You will find all of them here and you can manage them. We have thought even further in terms of what are the needs of organization, and we have created also the possibility to create additional users in Ponto. In this case, let's say the colleague of Benjamin, Lionel, created the Odoo organization. Let's say that Lionel is the boss of the company. If the company expands, maybe we'll hire a CFO or a manager in terms of finance. He will want to delegate the management of the banking connectivity and the integration to Odoo to this new employee. You could easily here add new users that will have the rights to change things in Ponto and in the integration with Odoo. Finally, we have also the possibility to even extend those access to external parties. Let's say you are a company and you are working with an external accounting firm. You could easily also give them mandates from Ponto so that this external company, those external accountants could also manage a part of your banking connectivity to ease your life in terms of injecting your data into an accounting software like Odoo Accounting. So, if I summarize a bit what we show you in terms of what we believe is very important for business to have control for from Ponto, the first one, you need to control your bank connectivity. You need to be able to revoke your account, to renew your account. It's something you need to do easily and to have full transparency upon. The second thing from Ponto dashboard you can do, you can also manage which application has access to those bank accounts. So that's also something very important to manage. You can also delegate the management of your banking connectivity to other collaborators in your company or even to third party. Finally, we are also observed that companies, they want to have more and more what we call multi-banking capabilities. What is multi-banking? Is basically if you are a company and you work with multiple banks, so often you do that to hedge a bit your financial risk, then typically those banks provide you with an application for each of the banks that you're working with. That is a bit tricky then to realize what is finally my consolidated balance between all my accounts, how can I search my transaction across all those banks. This is something we hear often as a request from our clients, and we are, for the moment, developing those capabilities.
So now let's talk a bit about what's next. So first one is the initiate payment. So in the coming features, we'll be able to initiate payments directly from Odoo to push them through the bank. The advantage of that is to, of course, you will be gaining time, but also avoid some fraud or the risk of error, because for the moment, what we were able to do is generate, for example, an XML file in Odoo, download that XML file and download and file it to the bank. But as you know, you could in the XML file change some information and everything. So with the initiate payments in Odoo, you will avoid that. You will avoid to have less. You will have less third parties taking part in the process, and you will directly push the information from Odoo to the bank, so it will be much easier and much faster. But maybe George, you could let us know more about the other upcoming features?
Yes, sure, Benjamin. Another payment facility we are rolling out right now on the market is what we call payment request. What are payment requests? It's the ability for you as a merchant or as a supplier to your own client to offer them a payment capability that is very, very easy for them to use. What I mean by that is you can generate what we call a payment link, which is coming in the form of a QR code, or it could be a URL that you attach to an email, or it could be a pay button that you add in your client area zone. And when your client use that link, they just click once, automatically the payment form that they exist at the bank they are working with will pop up and will have all the information that are already pre-filled, so that the end client, they just have to click on the sign or the pay button of the bank. So they have one click to make the payment. What we have observed is companies who are using those facilities, not only the clients pay faster, so you wait less time to get the money from your invoice, and you have also to send a lot less reminders for your clients to pay. So this is improving a lot the invoice collection process that you have. Another big payment feature that we are going to bring to the market, and that is thanks to the evolution of the regulation in the banking sector. By the end of the year, the bank will be obliged to offer instant payment in embedded banking. That means that from Odoo, you will be able, when you initiate payment, to choose between the normal payment that is happening today or this payment to be instant. This is a major revolution, because when instant payment will be available, you will be able to have 100% certainty in the case that you use this facility for your client to pay you, that the money arrive on your account. And this is quite amazing, because thanks to that, you won't have credit risk anymore. Or you will be able to operate an e-shop without having necessarily to work with credit card or expensive other payment schemes. So we have a big hope for that feature to help clients to reduce the cost of payment dramatically. When I say dramatically, in a positive way, obviously. We are also working a lot with banks ahead of regulation. So Ponto is really really going after banks to say, hey, don't be afraid of your end client. They also need access to the credit card. They also need access to their saving accounts directly into their software, because that's where this is happening. So more and more banks, we see that more and more banks are open also to give access through embedded banking to credit card statement and savings accounts. We're also working with them on recurring payment, so that the payment is even more easy to get for your invoices. And there is a lot more that we are going to bring on the market in the future. So in Odoo, let's face it, you have the choice between multiple suppliers for your embedded banking connectivity. We believe that as a business, you should really pick Ponto. Why is that? First is you get access to support. That seems to be a small thing, but when you have a problem, when you have a difficulty, you want to have someone who is there to help you. We are providing to all clients an email support. You can write at support@myponto.com. It will work more than my demo. And then you will get the support team who will come back to you directly, and even will be available on the phone or on a video conference to really solve your problem. We are also working a lot hand by hand with Odoo support. We are mixing the team together so we can solve the support case together, and that is, let's say, a service assurance that is very important for a business. Second thing is we are really a banking actor. We have been there 25 years in the banking sectors. We have banks as shareholder. That means we only do banking. We don't do anything else than that. And the last thing is we believe that we are there to help clients like you, companies like you, to benefit at the maximum from the digitalization of finance management. So we have a privileged relationship with banks, so we can bring those new services ahead of regulation. And we also invest a lot in research and development to bring you more innovation, like the feature that I just described before. Yes, we are not free. That there is a small price for all of that. There is a small price for the support. There is a small price for the Ponto dashboard that gives you full control on your banking connectivity and full security. But if I put this in perspective, €4, it's still, for the moment, less than a Big Mac at McDonald's. So we believe it's a good bargain for all the care that we are providing to you. But you could trust me, and I've made not a great job at the demo, so maybe you don't trust me. Maybe the best is for you to test it, and in order for you to test it and without having to do any commitment or to spend any money, we are super happy to provide you with, let's say, a coupon that you can use to open a Odoo Accounting database, open a Ponto account, link your account, and there will be no charge until the end of September. You just have to write an email to our support email and mention the code that you see on the screen. So you are able to use it at the end of September. If at the end of September you are not happy with it, you just cancel it and there will be no cost. We will really encourage you to try it. So thank you very much. We're going to make a small break, I believe, now.
Thank you, George. So guys, let's get back in a minute to answer your question. But first, we're going to have a little break. Thank you. So, hi everyone, back to live. So first question was, will Wise payments also be integrated? This can save us banking costs. So maybe George, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah. So I don't know specifically Wise, but I could guess that it's what we call a payment service provider like Stripe or Molly or PayPal. If that's the case, That's one of the, let's say, innovation we are bringing. We are indeed connecting to those payment service provider to get all the information that they share on the different e-commerce transactions that have happened through their payment methods. This is very difficult accounting case when you have an e-shop and you use one of those PSP to provide payment to your client. It's very hard for the accountant to reconcile that. So we realize that, and as a result, we have connected a lot of connection to PSP. I'm going to check with the team whether Wise is in the list of the PSP we are connecting to. If not, that's also an advantage. I see a second question about why should we pay €4 for Ponto compared to enable banking. This is typically the why, because if Wise is a very important need that you have, you connect to the support and you say, hey, what about those guys? Are you connected to them? And if we can do it, we will make it happen.
Okay, so well, you answered the next question. How and when do you, Ponto, includes more banks? Most of the Finnish banks are still missing.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thanks for it. Today we are integrating with 1,800 banks, and we are adding more banks as we help partners like Odoo when they expand also the rollout of embedded banking. We realize that the Nordics indeed is an area in a region for Odoo that is developing quite quickly. So we are definitely, we have more than 80 banks, I think, on the backlog to add, and I know Nordics are in the list. And again, please contact support@myponto.com. Tell us which bank do you need, do you miss, and we will tell you when we can make them, we can integrate it in the platform.
So thanks. So will this video be able for referral later? Sure, you will be able to find that video on YouTube. It will be available on YouTube if you want to find it later. Next question. When I try to connect my bank account, the account wants to give access to all my accounts, also personal, and I get this message that it gives access to all the above accounts. How can I choose only my business account? Normally this in Odoo you have to specify if you want to connect to your personal account or your business account. So it's really in the first step of the connection when you select the bank account, the bank in the list of the bank of all the banks. You can select if you want a personal or if you want to connect the personal or business accounts.
Yeah, and in Ponto, like I show you, through the Ponto dashboard, you have full control. So let's say you have connected more than you should have, going through the bank SCA process. You can easily go in your dashboard and suppress the personal account if you have done this by mistake, or if the bank has imposed that we get all accounts. That's something you can manage in the Ponto dashboard.
So next question. I connected my Revolut account without Ponto. Can you please explain why I should connect to Ponto? Well, I guess you already gave some explanation about that. I don't know if you want to add anything on that, but I think yeah, you've covered it pretty much. Can this replace Isabel portal? What about payment approval due to segregation of duties? Are bank statements available just like in Isabel?
Yeah, so I guess Hans is from Belgium. For the rest of the audience, we have a product in the Isabel group that is called Isabel 6, and that is quite popular in Belgium and in Luxembourg. And this is a multi-banking application that goes a lot beyond what Ponto is doing today. So no, it doesn't replace Isabel portal. We are integrating more and more of the Isabel 6 capabilities into Ponto directly. Today you can, if you are an Isabel 6 client and if you take the Isabel Connect module, you can integrate Isabel 6 with Odoo through Ponto. That is something that is available to you, but it's only for the client in Belgium.
So next question, when are the payments from Odoo available via Ponto? I guess that's related to the initiating payments. Well, that will be, it's something we are working on. We still have to make some costing decision on that, but it should be available soon. We don't have any date, unfortunately, to give you at the moment, but I mean, in the coming month, it will be available. Next question. Christophe customers, Christophe, our current customers are using Odoo Spanky. Is that in the negotiations?
Yeah, like Christophe said, that's a bank we don't know about. We are discovering new banks every day almost. So again, tell us which bank do you miss. We will look at it with the team and we'll come back to you. Most of the time we say yes, and it may take a bit of time to integrate. We are rarely saying no to any client request. We have done once last month for a German bank because we discovered they didn't have a PSD2 interface. So we are limited to whether Odoo Spanky has a PSD2 interface. If they have one, yes, we can connect. If they don't have one, no, we can unfortunately not connect.
Okay. What is the bank integration roadmap for the next few years? Which parts of the world are you going to?
Yeah, so Ponto is a European Union SEPA focused organization. So we have no plan today to go beyond. I know Odoo has other suppliers for other parts of the world. I think you guys cover.
We cover. We have other parts of the world with other providers. Maybe if Ponto is not available in that country, you might have other providers that are available. And we are looking to work with more providers to be able to propose more bank around the world as well. So next question. My bank is Raiffeisen in Luxembourg. Does it works with Ponto?
Well, I'm pretty sure you. Yes, that's one of the main bank in Luxembourg. So I'm pretty sure we work with them. The best is if you go to myponto.com, like it's written here in the chat. On the home page, you have an access to what are all the banks that we cover. So it's a link that is in the middle of the home page. Just go there, click on it, type the name of the bank, and if it's in the list, you get the information directly. If it's not in the list, just contact support@myponto.com to inquiry about it.
And another way to find if the Raiffeisen in Luxembourg is available, you just go when you try to connect your bank in Odoo, you can type in the name Raiffeisen, and it will propose you all the banks that are available with all the providers. Next question. In USA, we receive many payment deposits from our customers. Will Ponto and Odoo assign the the deposit to the customer and specific invoices if an invoice number is provided? Yeah, it could as well. Through the rules, you can select that the payment doesn't have to match the correct amount of the invoice, so you could easily do that through rules that are set up in Odoo. Does Ponto improve upon the NatChat feature within Odoo? Well, not sure what NatChat is. Do you know what it is?
I don't know, but again, please reach out to support@myponto.com. We will be super happy to help you further with that question.
Okay. Next question. Can you share what is the new in version 17 of Odoo in regards to this theme? Well, actually, what is new is we had more in Odoo. Actually, we had more bank available to connect to. What are the things? Pretty much, that's the same as in. I would have to check. What are the other things available? I'll get either you can send us an email and we'll get back to you on that question. Could you manage technical assistant project along with the company's accounting? You could Odoo manage technical assistant projects along with the company's accounting. Actually, we have a support dedicated to question if you have question, and we could also, if you want, you could also have the help from a consultant, which will be this is something you would need to pay for. The actual Odoo, the general Odoo support is free, but if you want the personal assistance on a personal matter for your company, you could be assisted by a consultant, and that would be you would have to take a pack of hours of consulting, and with those hours you could have some help from an actual consultant. I think. Dumb question alert. €4 approximately. How many US dollars? Well,
Used to be more in the past, I believe.
it should be
1 to 1.
4.4,
Almost 1 to 1.
dollars, something like that. Our clients are currently using another free synchronization provider. How can we migrate from XYZ to Ponto without synchronization problems? Well, actually, that's pretty easy. You just need to delete your synchronization in the configuration in Odoo. So if you activate the developer mode, you will be able to find in the configuration the list of synchronization that you have. You just delete the one that you have on the bank that you want to switch to Ponto. And then you will be able to make a new connection with your Ponto account. And I think that's it for the question. Well, thank you guys for your attention, and I wish you a pleasant day, and you can enjoy the sun for the rest of the day.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks.